Guard your heart. This phrase comes directly from the book of Proverbs, which instructs readers to guard their heart above all else, because everything they do flows from it. In Christian dating, this principle is taken seriously. It means being careful about how quickly and how deeply you emotionally invest in someone before there is a genuine commitment in place. Feelings can move faster than wisdom, and many people find themselves deeply attached to someone who was never truly right for them simply because they opened up too soon. Guarding your heart is not about being cold or distant. It is about being intentional with your emotions and honest about where a relationship actually stands. Date with purpose. Christians are generally encouraged to approach dating not as casual entertainment, but as a path toward discerning whether someone could be a lifelong partner. Dating with purpose means both people are clear, at least broadly, about why they are spending time together. It does not mean every first conversation has to be about marriage, but it does mean neither person is simply passing time. This idea pushes back against the modern tendency to drift through relationships without direction. When both people understand the purpose, they tend to make better decisions about how they spend their time and how seriously they take the connection. Seek spiritual compatibility. A shared faith is considered foundational in Christian dating advice, not just a preference. The New Testament includes a warning about being unequally yoked, an agricultural image describing two animals of different strengths being paired together, the result being that neither can move effectively. Applied to relationships, it reflects the belief that two people with deeply different spiritual foundations will eventually pull in opposite directions on things that matter most: how to raise children, how to handle hardship, what to prioritize in life. Spiritual compatibility does not mean two people have identical beliefs on every point, but it does mean their core faith and values are genuinely aligned. Involve your community. Historically, relationships in Christian communities were not private affairs between two isolated individuals. Family, church elders, and trusted friends played a real role in helping couples discern whether a match was wise. That tradition still carries weight in many churches today. The advice is simple: do not date in a bubble. Bring the relationship into the light of people who know you well and who have your long-term good in mind. Accountability and outside perspective are seen as gifts, not intrusions. People who are deeply attracted to someone can lose objectivity, and a trusted community can sometimes see what you cannot. Set physical boundaries. Christian teaching has always placed sexual intimacy within the context of marriage, and dating advice that flows from that belief naturally emphasizes physical boundaries. The conversation goes beyond just avoiding sex. It includes being mindful of situations that create unnecessary temptation, spending long hours alone in private spaces, for example, or allowing physical affection to progress faster than emotional and spiritual depth. The reasoning is not that the body is something to be ashamed of, but that physical intimacy carries weight. And when it moves ahead of commitment, it often complicates clear thinking about whether the relationship is actually healthy. Pray together and separately. Prayer occupies a unique space in Christian relationships. Praying separately about a relationship, asking for clarity, wisdom, and honesty about your own motives, is considered a basic discipline. Praying together as a couple is something many Christian counselors recommend more carefully, particularly early on, because shared prayer can create a powerful sense of closeness that may outpace where the relationship actually is. Done at the right time and in the right spirit, though, praying together builds something that is hard to manufacture any other way: a shared acknowledgement that something bigger than both people is being invited into the relationship. Do not ignore character. Attraction is real and it matters, but Christian dating advice consistently returns to character as the more reliable foundation. Kindness, honesty, patience, humility, how someone treats people they have no reason to impress. These are considered far more important than whether someone is charming or exciting in the early weeks. The book of Galatians describes the fruit of the Spirit, qualities that grow in someone who is genuinely walking in faith. Looking for those qualities in a potential partner is a more durable way of evaluating compatibility than going purely on feeling or chemistry. Be honest about expectations. Silence about expectations is one of the most common sources of confusion in dating. Christian advice in this area encourages directness, being willing to have honest conversations about where you see things going, what you are looking for, and what your values actually require in a relationship. This is not about issuing demands or rushing timelines. It is about treating the other person with enough respect to be truthful rather than vague. A relationship built on clarity from the beginning is far more stable than one built on assumptions and avoidance. Trust the timing. Many people in Christian communities carry real anxiety about whether they will find the right person and when. The advice that speaks to this is less a strategy and more a posture, trusting that timing is not entirely in your hands. This comes from a broader theological conviction that life is held within a larger story, and that anxiety about relationships often pushes people toward choices they would not otherwise make. Waiting well, using single seasons productively, and resisting the pressure to force something before it is ready are all part of this. It does not mean being passive, but it does mean releasing the grip of urgency. Reflect on your own readiness. Before looking outward at what you want in another person, Christian dating wisdom encourages looking inward first. Are you emotionally healthy enough to give and receive love well? Are there patterns from your past, wounds, habits, unresolved conflict, that you are bringing into a relationship without addressing? A relationship cannot fix what a person has not begun to work through themselves. This is not about achieving perfection before pursuing connection. It is about the honesty to know where you are, what you are carrying, and whether you are approaching someone else from a place of wholeness rather than need.